Hey, I'm Danny Surname and I'm going to be talking about homophobes. Yay! For a good portion of my life, homophobes have been the bane of my existence. And unfortunately, being so obviously queer, I was a very easy target for them. It's funny when you put a large group of teenagers all together and then stick a very queer looking one right in the centre of them. It turns them all into fucking homophobes. Although I suffered from some shit homophobic bullying, I am lucky now to not have to deal with any homophobia really at all. The occasional bit, but then you get the occasional dick no matter who you are. Biphobia, on the other hand, is something I experience far too often, but I'll put that in another video. So on to my adventure of homophobia. It started around when I cut my hair. I had very, very long hair, and then it went and then eventually I cut most of it and I had kind of a pixie thing going on. It more just looked a bit punk. People thought I was a bit different, said things now and again. Oh, she looks a bit like a lesbian. Then my hair went even shorter and I ended up with this and the homophobia blew up. I was labelled as the school lesbian and I had regular shouts of dyke, faggot, lesbian, queer in the corridor. There were a lot of girls who used to look and whisper and just generally avoid me. Ones that would make little digs at me saying they didn't want to be anywhere near me in the changing rooms. Oh yeah, keep flattering yourself. There were a great deal of people I had never spoken to before at all in my life who just thought the way I looked was license for them to come up to me and ask me about my sexuality and my sexual history. No. I was going through my awkward teenage phase. I was also suffering from depression because of growing up and seeing parts of my family that I'd never really noticed before. Life happened and I took it very, very badly. The homophobia started to get worse and worse and it became like full-on bullying. Like I couldn't walk down a single corridor without someone shouting some kind of dyke-related comment at me, which naturally didn't help me at all. I lost all my self-esteem, I lost all my social skills. I went from being an average kid, becoming depressed, and then just it was horrible, and looking back, I blame quite a big portion of my depression and everything I suffered from on the homophobia that I experienced at school, because it created an environment where there was nowhere that was safe for me. There was nowhere that I had support. Because I lost my social skills, I lost all my friends too. I had no one. I stood at the edge of a group and no one used to talk to me at all. When people said things to me, no one stood up for me, not even teachers. And I sure as hell didn't know how to stand up for myself because I just never developed the skills to be able to deal with that. I also became really paranoid and felt incredibly horrible about myself. One of the worst points of my life in school was when this guy said, "If you're gay, you've got nothing to live for, you might as well go kill yourself." And then he added, "I've got some spare rope in my garage if you need it." Which was pretty shit. There was a part of when I was being homophobically bullied that I was religious. I was a Christian and I got a lot of shit for being Christian and being queer. People went for the whole "thou shalt not lie with another man," saying that my God didn't love me, I was going to hell and stuff like that. And at that time religion was a comfort for me because I had nothing else to hold on to. So for people to turn it around and throw it back in my face, it was just another shit part of being bullied. I'm not religious anymore. Not that spiritual. Not the point. Bearing in mind I had no idea who I was at the time, people putting such a negative spin on sexuality made me not want to think about who I was. So all of this homophobic bullying was based on the fact that I had a mohawk and that I wore my uniform quite butchly. It wasn't until the summer before year 11 that I actually figured out that I was bi. The homophobia continued up until the start of sixth form. So when I went back in year 11 it was a different kind of feeling, knowing I was bi and then still experiencing that homophobia, and it was just a bit different. And at that point I was better at dealing with it because I'd come out of depression, I'd been in recovery for quite a while, I knew how to brush it off my shoulders, everything was getting better, and then I hit sixth form and it all stopped. It was if people had come back from the summer and grown up, and it was brilliant, it was amazing. About 3 weeks after starting sixth form I came out to the whole school, wearing this shirt. Booyah. So apart from little bits that I get, I don't really experience any homophobia at all. And again, I am very lucky to be in a place now where I don't experience a lot of homophobia. I do experience biphobia, but different area, different video. So if I can give you some advice, if I can try, I know it's really hard when you're young to find the courage to stand up and say, "Hey, fuck you," and just be able to turn around and brush it off your shoulders and move on. If you're someone who is quiet, I know it's going to be a bit more difficult for you, but try to make it seem like it doesn't matter. I know it does matter because I've been that quiet person who it really does matter when people are yelling these things at you. But as cheesy as it is, it really does get better. Don't ever let someone demean you. Give me an ego boost, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.